Hello and good morning, LinkedIn. Man, what an exciting week. Microsoft released a ton of information regarding their new HoloLens 2.0, and Twitter's been going crazy. It's been really, really fun to get on there and engage with everybody. I wanted to focus on just a few things that they discussed during their presentation, and we've been, interacting with online is the field of view. I'll briefly review that at the end here, but more specifically, I wanted to focus on microvision, LBS, laser beam scanning, MEMS systems, or micro electromechanical switchable mirror laser scanning devices. Now, going back to this just right behind me, what do you see? You see a flicker. Now, I remember this flicker. I'm old enough to remember this flicker because back in the 80s when I first started playing, Atari and Nintendo, Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy II in the early 90s, you saw this flicker, and mainly, it causes a lot of eye fatigue. So they mandated in cathode ray tubes that the refresh rates be increased from 60 hertz to 75. And this troubles me a bit because the new technology that they're pushing from the MEMS, they stated that the mirror switches at 54,000 times per second, but it doesn't have persistence, so you have to divide that by 60. So what you end up coming up with is around 900 cycles per second, or roughly or approximately half of the resolution. And there's a reason for this, because the laser, and let's go ahead and jump into this right now, the laser has to scan back and forth. Now this is referencing Karl Guttag here, but these bidirectional interlace scanning on the outside of the displays would be at 60 hertz, and then in the middle, so it's going to be really blurry, and it'll be a little bit less blurry in the middle at 120 hertz as these side pixels are driven by interlace fields in different directions. This is a problem. I mean, it's not only, I don't understand why they chose this, because many other, competitors like Vuzix, even with their blades, they're at 1,000 nits. This HoloLens is at 500, the Magic Leap 1's at 210, the original HoloLens is at 350. So there's really no reason, even though they purported to select this because they wanted to use it outside, that it's not going to be an advantage there. It's actually going to be a significant problem, and we're not talking about the issues with coherent light and speckle and EPE. So it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me why they chose this path. And you have to ask yourself this: is it going to be an issue, coupled with vergence accommodation conflict? You can see they have eye tracking, but they did not even attempt to address VAC with this, and it's something that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I believe in probably the HoloLens 3.0. They'll try to do their best to resolve some of these issues. Let's just go back to the flicker. So, as we take this out and look at that flicker, if you have an experience in enterprise that you're going to need to wear this for more than 30 minutes or an hour, I'm just asking you guys all a question. How long do you think you can wear a display technology that your eyes are constantly scanning back and forth and looking at it like that? Be honest with yourself. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not very long. It actually hurts your eyes quite a bit. It's significant. So they're going to have to come up with some kind of a way moving forward to move away from this technology. And I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that Microsoft absorbed a lot of Microvision former employees. They have a lot of people on their R&D team that are, Microvision guys pushing this forward. But this is not something that I would have recommended with their technology. And there's a lot of issues with it. And primarily, outside of just this flicker, we also have beam alignment of the various lasers, of the coherent laser light. Just the smallest microscopic misalignment of these, we call it the 4 degrees of freedom, which is horizontal, vertical, pitch, and yaw, causes them to diverge, by countless pixels and throughout the image, and they can use different types of alignment features, either crude or fine, just by focusing on the closest line. But it's, even if they get that calibration perfect and somehow one of the lasers becomes misaligned, you're going to have a significant issue with alignment. I mean, I used to deal with all kinds of alignment systems and radio frequency receive transmit systems and infrared barrage jamming systems, electronic warfare in the United States Air Force and the Special Forces. I know a lot about this stuff, and this is an issue. So I'm not exactly sure what they were trying to accomplish here, other than moving to a different technology versus the liquid crystal on silicon and DLP and OLED. Maybe they're just waiting for the micro LED stuff to take off so they can keep pushing this forward. But one good thing that we did see was they were able to confirm the butterfly waveguide. Now I had kind of thought out there that this was going to be at least 70 degrees, and it's a little shocking to me. But they designed it with so much eye relief that their ability to increase the field of view is very limited. So that is an advantage here. Obviously, the ergonomics are very, very important. You can flip the headset up. They moved a lot of the weight to the back of the unit itself, and I've been saying that for a long time. I think that's a great move for them. There's a lot of pros here on their side for ergonomics. And the butterfly waveguides, I was a little concerned there because, the Magic Leap was able to achieve 52 degrees field of view without using the butterfly waveguides, which kind of seams two waveguides together. You might be able to see the seam. I don't see that there. But, I guess my question moving forward, because a lot of us were very concerned at the verbiage used in Barcelona when they said we doubled the field of view. Well, they didn't double the field of view diagonally. They doubled the area of the field of view, and that isn't consistent with industry standards when discussing field of view. I've never seen any other pitch where they said, listen, that we doubled the field of view, but it was only the area. And also, when you're looking at these presentations, I had somebody on LinkedIn bring up Bob Kumi discuss the original HoloLens presentation where they're using that spectator camera, so it seems like the user can see that whole field of view. But what you don't actually see, there's clipping bounds right on the field of view there. So when they're looking at that piano, she only likely saw a very limited scope, of that piano itself. So I guess it's misleading, But when we come down here, I saw this on Twitter last night, and I want to show you guys to see what you thought about it. Is this right here? Somebody actually brought up a question. Is that if you look at the original HoloLens here in the middle, and then the Magic Leap on this side. So this is around 35 degrees field of view-ish, 34, per Microsoft. And this is at 52. If you look at the HoloLens 2.0 behind me, it looks much bigger. So I guess the question is are they slow rolling this field of view? If you look at the vertical resolution there on that display, it looks significantly bigger than either one of those two. So is it 52 degrees? Is it larger there? I know they gave us the specifications on both vertical and horizontal, but I'm hoping I can test it. My goodness, I live 3 miles away. So Microsoft, please call me. I'd love to come over there and test it and write an article for you guys, and hopefully showcase some of this technology out there. But you guys reach out and let me know what you think about this. Do you believe that Microsoft switching to an LBS MEMS technology is advantageous for them? Obviously, you still can't use this outside. So if you watch my video yesterday with the Magic Leap 1 with diffractive waveguide optics, outside, that device at 210 nits, yes, I'm looking directly at the sun, which has 5, 6, 7,000 nits. If it's reflecting off concrete, it could be plus 10,000. But this technology is mainly focused on enterprise only at this point. And I'm also concerned with speckle. So, Karl Guttag talked a lot about speckle. We used to have these issues in the Air Force when we utilize laser coherent beam systems. And speckle occurs because they're not injecting a laser directly into your eye. Okay, so as the laser hits any material at all, more significantly the diffractive waveguide and the EPE, or the pupil expander, because that's what they need. Think of like a rear projection TV, as it projects that image off of that huge mirror and back to your eyes. I used to love those huge TVs. You'll see all this grainy image, basically around the entire display, and you also see these dots. We call that speckle dots. And I haven't been able to confirm that. I haven't seen any real video shot through, either they're like a mixed reality capture or a spectator view. But I would love if somebody could confirm. Obviously, they are using a pupil expander, but I want to see how significant or detrimental this speckle is, or the noise granularity within the display. So, again, guys, I love to review all this stuff down to the micro level. And I want you all to know that I actually love this technology more than anything. I want these companies to succeed. I want the spatial computing paradigm to arrive more than anybody. Trust me. But I believe it's important for us to critically evaluate, the verbiage that the CEOs and the marketing teams put out there. Because we want consumers to understand this stuff, as well as the engineers who are making it. It's very important to have a transparent process with people that have high levels of integrity, because otherwise the consumers have no idea, what's coming down the pipeline or what the expectations are. They put a Magic Leap 1 on and they see a very ghost-like image and they get frustrated. So you have to. That's why I love doing this. So we understand where we are now, and then we can project a realistic path of where we're going to be in a year, 2 years, 3 years, and 5 years. It's wonderful to dream and have an imagination, but it's also very important to stay grounded so we have a very clear trajectory of where we're going to go. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful morning, and please, please, please reach out and contact me and post some feedback here, because your expertise and knowledge is so important, to really share with people around the world. I mean, there's a lot of people that tune into this channel, and then they go and educate other people, and that means the most to me. So thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful morning.